I do need your love. Democrats pointing fingers over the price of gas today on Capitol Hill. They berated a bunch of oil executives and accused them of price gouging, even though last week they said it was all Putin's fault. Remember Putin price hike? That was a fun hashtag. Here are some of this afternoon's fireworks.
The American people are getting ripped off as these companies choose to keep production low so that their own profits stay high.
While consumers are being pinched at the pump, oil companies have been raking in profits and pushing for policies that will only make our country more dependent upon oil.
That this just doesn't feel fair. It feels like gouging. It even feels like profiteering.
No. Of course, Republicans say it's all a ruse to take the blame off the president's failed policies. So who is to blame for high gas prices? Here with me to explain Power the Future Executive Director Daniel Turner is back. So, Daniel, tell me honestly, without an overt political agenda, why are gas prices high right now?
Yeah, absolutely. And first of all, I feel like I've done my penance for this Lent, having to sit through the 8 hours or so of this hearing today. But if you want to get to the answer of why gas prices are so high, it really is a supply and demand issue. But our supply is not anything near what it should be. We're short about 2 million barrels a day. And the reason why we're not producing more oil domestically is because this administration has put numerous policies and regulations in place that make it impossible to produce more oil and gas. Proof of that is this. You're going to tell me that the oil and gas companies, which make money making oil and gas right now, don't want to make more money producing more oil and gas because they're greedy, right? Just think of the logical fallacy of that statement. If we're truly capitalists and we believe that these are greedy companies and all they want to do is make money, well, then they'd want to produce more oil and gas, but they're not doing so. And there's a reason why, and that reason is Joe Biden.
So if there is a greater need for non-Russian gas and oil in places like Western Europe, how long will it take for these American companies to fill that need?
Oh, years at this point. This is not an industry that comes online very quickly. Just because you have permission to drill, by the time you do your exploratory drills, by the time you actually drill, you frack, you extract, that could be weeks and months down the road. So you figure, look at when President Trump took over in 2017. It took a good 2.5 years of favorable policies to get to the point that we were producing 13.5 million barrels a day. Now we're producing a little bit over 11 million barrels a day, and we don't have any favorable policies. So quite frankly, as long as this administration is in power and Deb Haaland is the Secretary of the Interior and all of these agencies are charged with Joe Biden mandates to stop them from producing, they're not going to produce.
So, but they want solar and wind. Are there solar and wind companies that produce what we need, what we can actually use in the United States, or is most of it still concentrated in China?
Most of it is manufactured in China. China also controls 95% of the metals and materials and rare earth elements market that is required for these things to work. And quite frankly, they don't work nearly as well, and they're very expensive. Again, look at any country that has gone greener faster than America. They pay way more than we do for electricity. They have higher emissions than we do, and they're in a more precarious situation, basically the entire continent of Europe. So we keep hearing Democrats say, if only we turn to wind and solar. Well, not only are we dependent on China, we're dependent on China for a technology that is expensive and inefficient and really unreliable. So there's not a solution by going green.
Right. I mean, there is reliable, abundant nuclear energy. So why is it Western Europe and why aren't these United States taking advantage of that?
Absolutely. France derives about 80% of its electricity from nuclear. If the French can do it, certainly the Americans can do it, right? But look at Andrew Cuomo in New York, right? He shut down nuclear power plants. Governor Newsom in California shut down nuclear plants. Why?
Because everything I see reminds me of her. That will be funny to two people. Daniel, you're a genius. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.